Look at the new Vietnam.
You're going to see how much this place has changed, especially in the last few years. The people of Vietnam never really lost their independent spirit despite years of strict government control. Now the controls are coming off and a new nation is emerging. Many of the philosophies you'll hear will sound strangely familiar. See for yourself as we continue our series. Vietnam, losing the war, winning the peace. When you arrive in today's Ho Chi Minh City, you're not greeted with big smiling pictures of Uncle Ho, the city's communist namesake. Instead, what you'll notice most are the billboards for big multinational companies. Head to the market and you'll be bombarded by all the latest high-tech equipment for sale on the street corners. And after you've settled in here, how about a light lunch? This spot has a familiar name to American visitors, especially those from Southern California, even if any connection to the real Spago ends at the name.
Hello, is Wolfgang Puck here? Is Wolfgang Puck? Wolfgang Puck, he's the person who started Spago?
Sure.
Okay, the real Spago may not be here yet, but with a little investigation, you can see that Vietnam is opening up again. It's a very different place, a change that everyone here will tell you has occurred in just the last few years.
It's a brand new country, shall I say. A country in which you can have, you can call it free enterprise if you like to.
Hello?
Dr. Nguyen Xuan Huan has had a front row seat for the economic changes in Vietnam. For 10 years, the government tried the old-style, centrally controlled socialist system. It didn't work, and Dr. Huan and others pushed for new, open policies. Now the economy is wide open, and Dr. Huan works with foreign businesses interested in moving to Vietnam. He says Americans have a built-in advantage.
During the embargo, we didn't have the right to import Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola, but we smuggle them in, whether you like it or not. You see, you can't go against the people. So I think it's time for our good American friends to come back here. And I think that the country is wide open for them to take advantage of it.
But these days, you don't even have to go to Southeast Asia to learn about the new Vietnam. You can just stop in at an investment seminar in downtown L.A.
The bottom line here is that exporting and shipping to Vietnam is essentially the same like shipping anywhere else in Asia.
Here, experts on Southeast Asia counsel potential entrepreneurs about the cautions and customs of Vietnam.
Somebody said once to me that Vietnam is a country that takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of fortitude, and you have to move slowly. So it's a new frontier, but it's the kind of environment where you've really got to have the wherewithal to stick it out.
And those who deal with the U.S. and Vietnam are waiting for the opening of full diplomatic relations between the two. One last step that would put the two countries on an even playing field. It's a step the U.S. government has been reluctant to take and has only recently even considered. Lobbying for closer relations between the old enemies is the American Chamber of Commerce in Ho Chi Minh City, a gathering of American-based business people who are eager to take the next step. They say the U.S. is already behind other countries.
Our main thrust at the American Chamber of Commerce is, why don't you let us compete with our competitors by providing us the trade supports that you provide in every other country? That's our position.
It's believed many millions of new dollars would pour in here if full diplomatic relations were established, adding American muscle to the international investments that now dominate the economy.
But not every money-making proposition in the new Vietnam involves hundreds of millions of dollars in outside investment. Take this spot, for example, the tunnels of Cu Chi. The tunnels have been here for years. Now they've become something of a tourist attraction.
Thank you. I'm glad to be out of that.
You can learn how the North Vietnamese and Viet Cong use the tunnels to fight. You can hear all about it from a former Viet Cong soldier leading the tour.
Say 1, 2, 3 bombs were drop and destroy very close to one another. B-52 jet plane bombs.
Last year, 150,000 people, war veterans and tourists alike, came here at $3 a person to learn about the war. Some even took the opportunity to fire war-era AK-47s or M16s. Everyone's welcome at $1 a shot. In the new Vietnam, profit motive is well understood. Even if the event being profited from is a piece of history, most people would just as soon forget.
The economy of Vietnam has been growing steadily over the last few years. But in a report released earlier this year, it's believed that the World Bank says that about half of Vietnam's population is still considered poor. Tomorrow night, we'll continue our report with a look at daily life in Vietnam. How much